Have you ever wondered what secrets lie buried beneath our feet? Forgotten relics of a bygone era. Imagine a Cold War bunker, a concrete tomb sealed for decades, not to protect from the outside world, but to contain something terrifying within. Today, we're diving deep into a story that feels ripped from a classified government file, a tale of mercenaries, mutants, and a desperate bioengineer's final gambit. Our story begins with a cryptic message, a distress call from a forgotten subterranean complex, promising a fortune to any crew brave enough to retrieve sensitive research data. Enter a team of hardened mercenaries, soldiers of fortune who've seen it all, or so they thought. Their mission seemed straightforward: breach the bunker, secure the data, and get out. The client, an anonymous entity with unlimited funds and a palpable sense of urgency. The location, a desolate restricted zone, miles from civilization. The catch, the bunker wasn't just abandoned, it was a prison. As they descended into the earth, the air grew thick with the smell of decay and ozone. The massive steel doors, designed to withstand a nuclear blast, were scarred from the inside. Strange guttural noises echoed through the labyrinthine corridors. The mercenaries, armed with state-of-the-art gear, felt a primal fear creep in. This wasn't a simple retrieval mission, this was a descent into hell. They soon discovered the logs of the lead bioengineer, a brilliant but disgraced scientist named Dr. Aris Thorne. Decades ago, during the height of the Cold War, Thorne was tasked with creating the ultimate soldier, a biological weapon that could survive and fight in the most hostile environments. His project, codenamed Chimera, involved splicing human DNA with that of extremophile organisms, creatures that thrive in conditions lethal to any other life form. The goal was to create super-resilient soldiers. The result was something else entirely. Thorne's logs paint a harrowing picture. Early experiments were promising, but the subjects began to exhibit uncontrollable aggression and grotesque physical mutations. They became faster, stronger, and disturbingly intelligent, but they lost their humanity. They were no longer soldiers, they were predators. The project was deemed a failure, a catastrophic one. The government ordered it shut down, the facility sealed, and all evidence buried forever. But Thorne, in a twisted act of paternal pride or sheer terror, couldn't bring himself to terminate his children. He initiated a lockdown, trapping himself and his creations inside, hoping to find a way to reverse the process. For the mercenaries, this history lesson came too late. They were now trapped in the same concrete coffin, hunted by the very creatures the bunker was built to contain. These mutants were not mindless beasts. They were cunning, using the ventilation shafts and maintenance tunnels to ambush the squad. They could mimic sounds, set traps, and communicate with a series of chilling clicks and screeches. One by one, the mercenaries were picked off, their high-tech weaponry proving ineffective against the relentless, regenerating horrors. The squad's commander, a veteran named Rex, realized their only hope was to find the central lab and the data they were hired to retrieve. It wasn't just about the money anymore, it was about survival. The data, they learned from Thorne's final, desperate entries, contained the key to the mutants' one weakness, a specific sonic frequency that disrupted their cellular structure. Thorne had weaponized it, creating a device he called the resonator, his last hope to contain the outbreak he had unleashed. The journey to the lab was a gauntlet of pure terror. They navigated pitch-black corridors where the only light came from the sparks of severed power cables. They waded through flooded sections, unsure of what lurked beneath the murky water. The psychological toll was immense. The constant threat, the loss of their comrades, and the claustrophobic environment pushed them to their limits. Each shadow seemed to move, and every sound could be their last. Finally, they reached the main laboratory. It was a scene of utter chaos, frozen in time. Smashed equipment, dried bloodstains, and desperate scrawls on the walls told the story of the facility's final hours. And there, on a central console, was the resonator, a complex device humming with latent power. Beside it lay the skeletal remains of Dr. Thorne, a data drive clutched in his hand. He had died trying to activate it, but they were not alone. As Rex reached for the drive, the alpha mutant revealed itself, larger, more intelligent, and far more monstrous than the others. It was Thorne's first and most successful creation. It seemed to understand what they were trying to do. A brutal, final confrontation ensued. It was a clash of modern warfare against primordial fury. Bullets and brawn against tooth and claw in the heart of a forgotten tomb. Rex, the last survivor, managed to retrieve the drive and activate the resonator. A high-pitched, disorienting frequency filled the bunker. The mutants shrieked in agony, their bodies convulsing and breaking down. For a moment, it seemed like a victory. But the resonator was overloading the bunker's ancient power core. The entire facility began to shake, concrete cracking and alarms blaring, a final, deafening warning. With the alpha mutant collapsing behind him and the bunker tearing itself apart, Rex had a choice to make. The mission was to retrieve the data. But the distress call wasn't just for the data. It was a warning. Dr. Thorne's last message wasn't a plea for rescue, but a plea to ensure his creations never reached the surface. The mercenaries were never meant to escape. They were bait, a final, desperate measure to lure the mutants into a trap and destroy the entire facility. Did Rex escape with the data, potentially unleashing the very science that created these monsters upon the world? Or did he honor the bioengineer's last wish, sacrificing himself to ensure the horror remained buried forever? The records are sealed, the location wiped from all maps, but sometimes, late at night, in the static between radio stations, you can almost hear a faint, desperate transmission, a warning echoing from the deep. This story serves as a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened, and some secrets are best left buried. The pursuit of power, especially through forbidden science, often comes at an unimaginable cost. What do you think happened to Rex? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into the darkness, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown. Thanks for watching.